The moment I realized my own family had seated me with the servers at my mother's birthday party was the moment I knew I was done letting them walk all over me. I sat there, surrounded by people in aprons and black slacks, holding a glass of water while my cousins and siblings laughed at the main table, and I felt something inside me snap. I had always been the outsider, the one they whispered about, the one they never took seriously. But this time, they had gone too far. This time, they had made it clear that I was nothing to them. And I decided right then and there that I was going to show them exactly who I was, and who really owned the restaurant they thought they could use to humiliate me. Growing up, I was always the quiet one. My older brother was the golden child. My sister was the social butterfly, and I was the one who worked behind the scenes. I was the one who helped my parents in the kitchen, the one who learned every recipe, the one who stayed late to mop the floors and count the cash register. I never complained, never asked for anything, never made a scene. I thought if I just worked hard enough, if I just kept my head down, maybe one day they would see me. Maybe one day they would respect me. But that day never came. No matter how much I did, no matter how much I sacrificed, I was always invisible. When my father passed away, the restaurant became my whole world. My mother was lost in her grief, my siblings moved on with their lives, and I was the only one who stayed. I poured everything I had into keeping the place running. I learned how to fix the leaky pipes, how to negotiate with suppliers, how to keep the health inspector happy. I worked 12-hour days, 7 days a week, just to keep the doors open. My siblings barely visited. When they did, it was just to criticize or complain. They never saw the work I put in. They never cared dots, so when my mother's 70th birthday came around, I was the one who planned the whole thing. I booked the restaurant, ordered the cake, made sure every detail was perfect. I wanted her to have a night she would never forget. I wanted her to feel loved. I wanted, just for once, to feel like I was part of the family. But when I arrived that night, dressed in my best suit, I saw that my name wasn't on the seating chart. My brother's wife looked at me with that fake smile and said, "Oh, we thought you'd be more comfortable in the back with the staff." She handed me a folded napkin and pointed to a table by the kitchen, where the servers were already eating their dinner. I looked over at the main table, where my family was raising their glasses, and I felt my face burn with shame. I sat down with the servers, trying to hold back tears. They looked at me with sympathy, but nobody said anything. I could hear my family laughing, telling stories, making toasts. My mother didn't even notice I wasn't there. I felt like I was 12 years old again, hiding in the pantry while everyone else celebrated in the dining room. I wanted to disappear. I wanted to run away. But then I remembered something my father used to say: never let anyone tell you where you belong. You decide that for yourself. And suddenly, I wasn't sad anymore. I was angry. I was done letting them treat me like I didn't matter. I was done letting them decide my worth. I stood up, pushed in my chair, and walked straight into the kitchen. The staff looked at me confused, but I just nodded and told them to keep doing what they were doing. I grabbed the manager's keys from the hook, walked out to the main dining room, and climbed up on a chair. The whole room went silent. My brother glared at me, my sister rolled her eyes, and my mother looked embarrassed. But I didn't care. I cleared my throat and said, "I hope everyone is enjoying their meal tonight. I just wanted to take a moment to thank you all for coming to celebrate my mother's birthday. And I wanted to let you know that, as of last month, I am now the sole owner of this restaurant." You could have heard a pin drop. My brother's face turned red. My sister's jaw dropped. My mother looked at me like she was seeing me for the first time. I pulled the deed out of my pocket and held it up for everyone to see. "That's right," I said, my voice shaking but strong. Dad left the restaurant to me. I've been running it by myself for the last 5 years. Every meal you've eaten here, every party you've thrown, every memory you've made, it's all because I kept this place alive. And tonight, I want to thank the people who really make this place special, the staff. I turned to the servers who were watching from the kitchen door and invited them to join me at the main table. Tonight, you're my guests. You deserve to be celebrated. The staff hesitated, but then one by one, they walked out and took seats at the main table. My family just sat there, stunned. My brother tried to protest, but I cut him off. You had your chance to treat me like family. You chose to treat me like a servant. Well, tonight, the tables have turned. I could see the anger in his eyes, the disbelief on my sister's face, the confusion on my mother's, but I didn't care. For the first time in my life, I felt powerful. I felt seen. The rest of the night was a blur. The staff laughed and shared stories. The food tasted better than it ever had, and for once, I felt like I belonged. My family sat in silence, picking up their plates, too shocked to say anything. My mother tried to apologize, but I just smiled and told her to enjoy her birthday. I wasn't doing this for her. I was doing it for me. After the party, my brother cornered me in the parking lot. He was furious. He accused me of embarrassing the family, of ruining the night, of making everything about myself. I looked him in the eye and said, "You did that all on your own." I just finally stood up for myself. He stormed off, and I watched him go, feeling lighter than I had in years. The next day, I called a staff meeting. I told everyone what had happened, told them how much I appreciated their hard work, told them that from now on, things were going to be different. I gave everyone a raise, better hours, and more respect. I wanted them to know that they mattered, that they were the heart of the restaurant, that they were family to me in a way my own blood never was. Word got around town about what happened at the party. People started coming in just to meet the owner who stood up to his family. Business boomed. The staff was happier than ever. And for the first time, I felt proud of what I had built. I wasn't just running a restaurant. I was building a home, a place where everyone was welcome, where everyone was respected, where no one was ever made to feel small. My family tried to reach out, tried to make amends, but I kept my distance. I wasn't interested in their approval anymore. I had spent my whole life trying to earn their love, trying to prove myself, trying to fit in. But I finally realized that I didn't need them. I didn't need their validation. I was enough just as I was. Sometimes I still think about that night. I think about the look on my brother's face, the silence at the main table, the way the staff smiled when I invited them to join me. I think about how close I came to giving up, to letting them win, to letting them decide my worth. But I didn't. I stood up, I spoke out, and I took back my power. Now, every time I walk through the doors of my restaurant, I remember where I started. I remember the long nights, the hard work, the sacrifices. I remember the pain of being overlooked, the sting of being left out, the ache of wanting to belong. But I also remember the moment I decided to stop waiting for permission, to stop asking for acceptance, to stop letting other people define me. I built this place with my own 2 hands. I kept it alive when everyone else walked away. I turned it into something beautiful, something lasting, something real. And no one, not my brother, not my sister, not anyone can ever take that away from me. So if you've ever been made to feel small, if you've ever been pushed aside, if you've ever been told you don't belong, I want you to know that you have the power to change your story. You have the power to stand up, to speak out, to show the world who you really are. You don't have to wait for anyone's approval. You don't have to sit at the table they set for you. You can build your own table. You can invite whoever you want. You can decide where you belong. That night at my mother's birthday, my family tried to put me in my place. But I showed them that my place was wherever I chose it to be. I showed them that I was more than the quiet one, more than the helper, more than the servant. I was the owner. I was the heart of the restaurant. I was the one who made it all possible. And now, every time I see the staff laughing in the kitchen, every time I see a family celebrating in the dining room, every time I see someone walk through the door and feel at home, I know I made the right choice. I know I did the right thing. I know I finally took my place at the table, not the one they gave me, but the one I built for myself. That's my story. That's how I turned humiliation into power, betrayal into pride, and a lonely seat by the kitchen into the best seat in the house. And if you're ever in my restaurant, you'll always have a place at my table. Because here, everyone belongs. And no one gets left behind.